There's a lot of low-cal dishes in this world. This is not one of them. Creamy tomato fettuccine with spinach and thyme breadcrumbs. This is how you make it. 1 bunch thyme, 3 ounces of grape tomatoes, 2 cloves of garlic, 2 tablespoons of creme fraiche, 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, 1 cup panko breadcrumbs, 3 ounces of baby spinach, 2 tablespoons of salted butter, red pepper flakes, and at the end we add Parmesan. You'll also need a good olive oil, pepper, and salt. The utensils are a cutting board, a chef's knife, a couple of spoons, can opener, and measuring spoons. You'll need a large pan, a medium pot, and a pair of tongs. Wash and dry the fresh produce. Break the thyme into 2 bunches, just equal, you know. You're going to cook them in the pan separately. Halve the tomatoes. It helps if you have a dull knife to cut the tomato up at where the stem hits it, because the blade can catch where it's rough there. But if you have you should definitely have a sharp knife if you're cooking. It's a dream. Peel and finely chop 2 cloves of garlic. I like to take the ends off and give them a good whack. And then that peel comes right off. If you're working with older garlic, sometimes the garlic will have this little guy growing, the living part of the garlic, it continues to grow and use the garlic to feed itself. All you gotta do is take that piece out, because that's not good. But the rest of the garlic is totally fine. I come across once, and then I just chop it like this until it's finely chopped. Every once in a while, I'll clean the knife to get it back in a pile to chop more. That's pretty good. So separate these 2 cloves of garlic in half, so 1 clove and 1 clove. America's Test Kitchen would recommend I get a bench scraper. Getting ready to cook. In preparation for that, I group my ingredients together in order that I'm going to use them. So the breadcrumbs I'm going to cook first, right? So that's going to take care of itself. Then I'm going to make the sauce, and I'm going to cook the tomatoes for a little bit. Then I'm going to add the garlic and the thyme, cook that for a little bit. Then I'm going to add the tomato paste and the water and cook that for a little bit. And then I'm going to add at the end the baby spinach for like 30 seconds to a minute and let that wilt down. That's the basics of the sauce. When the pasta is done, I'm going to add the butter to the pot that the pasta is cooked in and put the pasta in there, and then add the sauce to that later. Cook that for a little while. Then when that's all done, I'm going to stir in the creme fraiche. Fill a pot 3/4 of the way up with water. Put it on high heat to boil. Cover it. Once it's boiling, you're going to put the pasta in, and that's going to take 9 minutes to cook. At the same time, you're going to start the sauce. And when the sauce is finished, towards the end of that process, you'll drain the pasta, you'll finish the sauce then, and then you'll put the pasta back in the pot and the sauce in the pot, and everything will come together in the end. So it's about 9 minutes from boiling the pasta out of the box and sauce at the same time. It comes together in about 10 minutes. To cook the breadcrumbs, add a drizzle of olive oil to medium-high heat. Once the oil is hot, add the breadcrumbs, 1 of the cloves of garlic, and the thyme sprigs. And stir that around in the olive oil. So you're going to cook this for about 2 or 3 minutes. Alexa, timer, 2 minutes. And stir it occasionally.
2 minutes, starting now.
You'll see it's...
And the next time you set a timer, try adding some themed sounds from the movie Avatar, The Way of Water. Just say, enable Avatar theme.
Looks like Avatar made the video. You're going to cook this for about 2 or 3 minutes, and you'll see it'll start to get, it's like pale now, and then it'll start getting golden, and you wait for a pretty shade of brown, and then it's done. And you kind of rub the thyme, I think, against the pan, so it infuses the breadcrumbs with the taste of the thyme. Once the breadcrumbs get a nice shade, you'll know that they're done, so they'll be all set. You can turn off the heat, and then you add them to a plate. You remove the thyme sprig. You take the plate and you shake it so it's flat. And then you add salt right away while it's still warm. And then you put those to the side for later. You put it on top of the pasta. Okay, once the water is boiling, we're going to salt it. I've wiped out the pan, and I've got a drizzle of olive oil on medium-high heat, so it's hot, right? So I'm going to start the pasta, and I'm going to do the sauce at the same time, okay? So I take half a pound of fettuccine, and I put it in the salted water. Give that a couple of seconds, and then you'll stir it around. Alexa, timer 9 minutes. The pasta will take 9 minutes.
9 minutes, starting now.
To the pan of hot olive oil, add the tomatoes in an even layer. Season with salt and pepper. We're going to let that cook 3 minutes, maybe 4, until they're softened and they're a little brown. Alexa, timer 3 minutes. You don't stir it, you just leave it. So you let those break down in the pan a little bit. Then we'll start adding the next ingredient. So 2-3 minutes. 2-3 minutes is what it is. After about 3 minutes in the pan, I'm going to stir the tomatoes. I'm going to add the remaining clove of garlic and the other half of the thyme sprig, and I'm going to stir this, cooking it around for a minute or 2, probably a minute. Alexa, timer, 1 minute.
Second timer, 1 minute.
I want to keep an eye on the garlic just to make sure it doesn't burn. But there's enough juice from the tomatoes that it's good. After the tomatoes and thyme and garlic have cooked, I remove the thyme sprigs and I add the tomato paste. Oop. Sometimes you just got to get in there with your hand. And I'm going to let that go for another minute. Alexa, timer, 1 minute. And I'm going to combine the tomato paste, the tomatoes, and the garlic, and let that come together a little bit for like a minute. Once that's all cooked a little bit, come together, I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup of water. Alexa, timer off. And as much of the red pepper flakes as you want, so depending on how spicy you want it. You don't go too heavy. And then I'm going to stir this and bring this together, and I'm going to cook this. Alexa, timer, 3 minutes. For 3 or 4 minutes till it gets thicker.
Starting now.
And the last ingredient is going to be the spinach as the pasta finishes, and then we'll bring it all together. So now the sauce is thickening up a little bit. 3 minutes. After 9 minutes on the pasta, I taste one of them to see if it's al dente. We don't want to cook it all the way because we're going to finish cooking it in the sauce in the pot after. So it's still a little chewy. So that's good. I'm going to drain this, and I'm going to reserve a cup of this water because that'll loosen the sauce when we combine it. This has got another 30 seconds to a minute, and then the sauce will be done while this is draining. After the sauce has thickened up a little bit, I'm going to add the spinach. Alexa, timer off. I'm going to add the spinach. I'm going to cook it for another minute. Alexa, timer for 1 minute.
1 minute.
30 seconds to a minute. I'm going to season it with salt and pepper, and I'm going to let that spinach wilt into the sauce. Okay, so I'm going to add the 2 tablespoons of butter to the bottom of the pan on medium-high heat, and I'm going to add the pasta back into the pan. Then I'm going to take the sauce, and I'm going to stir it into here too. And then I'm going to take a look, and it's pretty tight. So I'm going to add some of the pasta water so that this comes together. And then I'm going to cook that for like another minute. Alexa, timer, 1 minute.
1 minute, starting now.
And then the pasta will soak up the juices of the sauce, and it'll be delicious. When it's all done, we're going to add the creme fraiche, and then we'll serve it. Serve the final dish with Parmesan cheese and breadcrumbs.